Elon Musk's return from death was a spectacle that shook the very foundations of science, religion, and humanity's collective psyche. It wasn't just that he had come back from the dead, it was what he had to say that sent tremors through every sector of society. The news broke on a crisp winter morning when his body, declared dead a year earlier following a mysterious and catastrophic accident, was discovered in his Palo Alto mansion, sitting upright in a chair as if he'd been meditating. The monitors attached to the mansion's security systems had failed to capture how he had gotten there, leading to speculation that his resurrection wasn't merely a fluke of technology or medicine, it was something far more unsettling. Before we start, hit the like and subscribe buttons for more exclusive news. The world had mourned Musk's death with a strange mixture of grief and apprehension. He had been a polarizing figure, a visionary who dared to dream of colonizing Mars, and a provocateur who ruffled feathers with his brash and often cryptic commentary. Yet even his detractors couldn't deny his brilliance. Musk's passing had left a vacuum in the tech and innovation industries, and his unfinished projects lingered as testaments to his ambition. When he reappeared, people weren't sure whether to celebrate, question, or fear. The media frenzy that followed his return was unparalleled. Paparazzi swarmed the estate, live feeds broadcast every development, and millions tuned in to see the man who had seemingly defied death. But Musk was not the same. His once vibrant, often mischievous eyes carried a haunted look. His voice, though still distinctly his, resonated with a gravity that hinted at truths too profound, too terrible to bear. Musk's first public statement came during an impromptu press conference held on the steps of his mansion. Clad in a simple black suit and tie, he looked uncharacteristically solemn. "I need you to listen carefully," he began, his voice trembling slightly. "What I am about to tell you will change everything you think you know about life, death, and the universe." He described his death as not an end, but a transition, a crossing into a realm that defied all earthly understanding. He spoke of a place where time and space collapsed into infinite dimensions, where the essence of humanity was laid bare in a way that was both beautiful and horrifying. But what truly shook the world was his claim that he had been sent back by a force beyond comprehension to deliver a message. "The Rapture is not a myth," Musk declared, his voice steady despite the gasps and murmurs from the crowd. "It is not a religious fantasy or a parable meant to scare you into morality. It is a cosmic inevitability, a convergence of timelines, dimensions, and energies that will fundamentally rewrite existence as we know it, and it is closer than you think." Musk's words ignited a firestorm of debate. Religious leaders, long divided on doctrine and interpretations, suddenly found themselves thrust into an uneasy unity, grappling with the implications of his claims. Scientists, skeptics by nature, found Musk's descriptions eerily coherent with certain fringe theories in quantum physics and cosmology. Was it possible that this man, once lauded as the most brilliant mind of his generation, had glimpsed a reality so profound that it defied categorization as mere delusion? The details Musk shared were harrowing. He described a judgment-like process, a cosmic sorting where the essence of every soul was weighed against an unrelenting standard. "It's not about good or evil in the way we understand it," Musk explained during a live broadcast viewed by billions. "It's about resonance, harmony. If your soul vibrates in discord with the universal frequency, you cannot ascend." His words struck a chord that transcended cultural and spiritual boundaries. People from every walk of life began to question their existence, their actions, their beliefs. Some flocked to churches, temples, and mosques seeking guidance and salvation. Others turned inward, exploring meditation, quantum theory, and ancient philosophies in search of answers. Musk didn't limit his message to warning alone. He claimed that humanity still had time, albeit a narrow window, to prepare for what was coming. He outlined steps for individuals and societies to align themselves with the universal frequency he had witnessed. Among these were acts of compassion, the pursuit of knowledge, and the abandonment of greed and hatred. Technology, he added, must serve the greater good, not the vanity of power or wealth. Yet his words weren't met with universal acceptance. Powerful corporations and governments, wary of Musk's influence and the potential upheaval his message could cause, began to push back. Skeptics and opportunists accused him of orchestrating an elaborate hoax. They dissected his every statement, searching for inconsistencies, while conspiracy theories proliferated. Was Musk being manipulated by unseen forces? Could this be a ploy to regain his empire? Or perhaps the ramblings of a man unhinged by his near-death experience? The tipping point came when Musk announced that the Rapture would not be an isolated event, but a multi-dimensional phenomenon that would ripple through all existence. "It's not just Earth," he said during a televised global summit. "Every sentient being in the universe will face this reckoning, and those who fail to resonate will not be destroyed. They will be repurposed." The cryptic nature of his statement sent chills through audiences. What did repurposed mean? Was it annihilation? Transformation? Musk refused to elaborate, stating only that the truth was too much for most minds to bear. Despite the mounting skepticism, Musk's influence was undeniable. Tech giants began collaborating on projects aimed at understanding and aligning with the mysterious universal frequency. NASA and other space agencies ramped up their efforts to decode signals from the cosmos, spurred on by Musk's assertion that the universe itself was sending warnings. Communities worldwide began to form around his teachings, blending science, spirituality, and activism in unprecedented ways. But not everyone sought alignment. A darker movement emerged, driven by fear, denial, and anger. Some saw the impending rapture as a call to nihilism, indulging in excess and violence under the belief that nothing mattered. Others turned to apocalyptic cults, convinced they could either fight or escape what was coming. Musk, aware of these developments, issued a plea. The path forward is unity, not division. Chaos will only hasten the unraveling. As the months turned into years, strange phenomena began to unfold. The skies shimmered with unexplainable lights, animals displayed unusual behaviors, and a deep resonant hum began to permeate the Earth's atmosphere. Musk claimed these were the early waves of the Rapture, signs that the convergence was accelerating. Scientists, despite their skepticism, confirmed that the phenomena defied conventional explanations. Musk's final act was perhaps his most enigmatic. He announced that he would leave Earth not to escape, but to prepare for the Rapture on a universal scale. "There's a place I need to be," he said during his last public appearance, "a nexus where all things meet. I must be there when it happens." He boarded a newly unveiled spacecraft, a marvel of technology that incorporated elements of his mysterious revelations, and vanished into the void. His departure left humanity in a state of profound uncertainty. Some clung to hope, believing Musk's teachings would guide them through the coming storm. Others descended into despair, convinced that the end was inevitable. The impact of Elon Musk's harrowing return from death reverberated across the globe in ways no one could have predicted. As his warnings about the Rapture began to weave their way into the cultural fabric, the world found itself in a strange dichotomy of hope and dread. For some, Musk's message was a rallying cry to improve themselves and prepare for a transcendental event that would test the very core of their existence. For others, it was a dire prophecy that seemed impossible to outrun. Communities around the world began adapting to the new reality in wildly different ways. In small towns and bustling metropolises alike, citizens began forming resonance collectives, groups dedicated to achieving the harmonious frequency Musk had described. These collectives experimented with a mix of practices, from ancient traditions like meditation and chanting, to cutting-edge scientific techniques that attempted to synchronize brainwaves and heartbeats. They developed intricate rituals that blended spiritual and technological elements, believing that balance and unity were the key to surviving the cosmic convergence Musk had warned about. In contrast, there were also factions that saw the coming rapture as an opportunity for control and exploitation. Charismatic leaders emerged, forming apocalyptic cults and claiming to have inside knowledge about how to manipulate the sorting process Musk had mentioned. Some of these groups amassed power and wealth, preying on the fear and uncertainty of the masses. Others pursued darker goals, convinced that sacrificing others or accumulating resources would somehow secure their survival when the time came. Meanwhile, Musk's earlier innovations, once primarily focused on colonizing Mars and developing artificial intelligence, were redirected in his absence. SpaceX, under the leadership of scientists inspired by Musk's vision, shifted its focus toward deciphering the patterns of the universe. Researchers began to study the strange hum that had begun to permeate the planet, a phenomenon Musk had referred to as a universal signal. Some theorized it was an extraterrestrial communication, while others believed it to be the very essence of the universal frequency Musk had described. But it wasn't just the scientific community that was galvanized. Religious institutions, many of which had initially dismissed Musk's claims as the ravings of a man gone mad, began to reassess their positions. The Vatican convened an emergency council inviting theologians, scientists, and even mystics to discuss the implications of Musk's experience. Islamic scholars held global symposia to explore parallels between Musk's revelations and Islamic eschatology, while Hindu philosophers drew connections to ancient texts that spoke of cosmic cycles and universal truths. These discussions often brought people of differing faiths together, leading to unprecedented levels of interfaith dialogue and collaboration. As the world adapted to Musk's warnings, strange events began to escalate. In one particularly shocking instance, a massive aurora borealis appeared over regions that had never before witnessed such phenomena, casting eerie green and purple hues across the skies of equatorial countries. These events were accompanied by a sensation described by millions as a pulse coursing through their bodies. A brief but intense moment where individuals claimed they could feel the interconnectedness of all things. Reports flooded in from every corner of the globe, with people sharing stories of vivid dreams that felt more real than waking life, encounters with glowing figures, and whispers of knowledge they could barely comprehend. Among these individuals was a young physicist named Dr. Lara Wen, who had been working on quantum entanglement theories at a research facility in Switzerland. After experiencing the aurora-induced pulse, Dr. Wen reported a sudden breakthrough in her understanding of the universe's underlying structure. She claimed to have seen a lattice of energy connecting every particle in existence, a cosmic web that pulsed with the rhythm of life itself. Wen's discoveries quickly gained attention, and she became a leading figure in the global effort to prepare for the Rapture. Her theories, though controversial, seemed to corroborate Musk's descriptions, giving further weight to his warnings. But the Rapture wasn't merely a theoretical event to be debated in academic circles. It was something that was beginning to manifest in increasingly tangible ways. Entire regions experienced anomalies that defied scientific explanation. In South America, a massive rainforest clearing regrew overnight, with plant species that had been extinct for centuries reappearing as if by magic. In the Middle East, an ancient underground temple was uncovered during an earthquake, its walls covered in symbols and diagrams that appeared to depict the very convergence Musk had described. Governments began to take action, albeit in wildly different directions. Some poured resources into understanding the phenomena, creating think tanks and task forces to analyze the increasing anomalies. Others turned inward, imposing draconian measures in an attempt to control the chaos. Martial law was declared in several nations, with leaders citing the need to maintain order as their populations grew increasingly restless. In some regions, civil unrest reached a boiling point as citizens demanded transparency about what their governments knew. Amid this turmoil, Musk's last message before departing Earth began to take on the weight of prophecy. "I must be there when it happens," he had said, cryptically referring to a nexus where all things meet. Speculation about Musk's whereabouts ran wild. Some believed he had traveled to the center of the galaxy, seeking answers from the heart of existence itself. Others theorized that he had entered another dimension entirely, crossing the threshold between the material and the metaphysical. A small but vocal group even suggested that Musk had been taken by the very forces orchestrating the Rapture, chosen as humanity's ambassador. As the date Musk had hinted at drew closer, the anomalies reached a fever pitch. Massive pillars of light began appearing in random locations across the globe, shooting into the heavens and disappearing just as suddenly as they arrived. The hum that had once been barely perceptible grew louder, resonating deep within the earth and shaking buildings to their foundations. People began reporting spontaneous episodes of levitation, with no discernible cause or pattern. Animals migrated in strange and erratic ways, as if responding to a call that humanity could not hear. The climax of these events came on a night that would forever be etched in human memory. The stars themselves seemed to shift in the sky, forming patterns that no astronomer could explain. Every screen on Earth, televisions, phones, computers, suddenly went blank, replaced by a single image, Elon Musk, his face illuminated by a soft, otherworldly glow. "I am speaking to you now from the Nexus," he began, his voice calm but tinged with urgency. "What is about to happen cannot be stopped, but it can be understood. The convergence is upon us. You have the power to decide what role you will play in this transformation. Fear will only bind you. Harmony will set you free." And then, just as suddenly as he had appeared, Musk vanished, leaving the world in stunned silence. The convergence began at dawn. The skies erupted in a kaleidoscope of colors, and the hum grew into a symphony of sounds that seemed to resonate in every corner of existence. People across the globe experienced a simultaneous vision, a great wheel of light turning in the heavens, its spokes reaching out to touch every soul. For some, the experience was one of profound peace, a sense of unity and understanding that transcended all earthly concerns. For others, it was a moment of unbearable dread, as if their very essence was being pulled apart. The process lasted hours, though to many it felt timeless. When it was over, the world was irrevocably changed. Those who had resonated with the universal frequency found themselves imbued with a deeper understanding of existence, their minds and bodies transformed in subtle but profound ways. They spoke of seeing beyond the veil, glimpsing a universe filled with infinite possibilities. For others, the outcome was less clear. The term repurposed, which Musk had used so ominously, took on new meaning. Some individuals disappeared entirely, leaving behind only a faint shimmer in the air. Others were changed in ways that defied explanation, their eyes glowing with a faint light, and their voices echoing with strange harmonics. Humanity emerged from the Rapture into a world that was both familiar and alien. The anomalies ceased, but the memories of what had occurred lingered. The planet itself seemed to hum with a new vitality, its ecosystems healing at an accelerated pace. Nations that had been on the brink of war found themselves inexplicably drawn to cooperation, their leaders speaking of a shared vision they could not fully articulate. And yet, questions remained. What had truly happened during the convergence? What was the ultimate purpose of the Rapture? And most pressing of all, where was Elon Musk? Though his final message had provided some measure of guidance, his absence left a void that no one could fill. Years later, a mysterious object was discovered orbiting a distant star. It emitted a signal that, when decoded, formed a single phrase: "The journey has just begun." Humanity had survived the Rapture, but Musk's cryptic parting words hinted at something even greater waiting on the horizon. A new chapter in the story of existence, one that promised to challenge the limits of imagination, science, and the soul. The years following the Rapture were marked by an era of profound transformation and uncertainty. Humanity, forever changed by the cosmic event and Elon Musk's cryptic warnings, found itself standing on the precipice of a new existence. The echoes of the convergence, the shimmering light, the harmonious hum, and the overwhelming sense of interconnectedness were fading. Yet the memory of the event lingered, etched into the collective consciousness of every living being. The world, though fundamentally altered, still grappled with the implications of what had transpired. In the immediate aftermath, the survivors, those who had aligned themselves with the universal frequency Musk had spoken of, noticed subtle but undeniable changes within themselves. Their perceptions were heightened, their thoughts clearer, and their emotions more balanced. Some claimed to experience an intrinsic connection to the Earth itself, sensing its rhythms and cycles as if they were extensions of their own being. Others spoke of visions, fleeting glimpses of distant galaxies, alternate realities, and even the boundaries of existence. These individuals became known as the Resonance, a name that symbolized their alignment with the cosmic harmony Musk had described. Governments and scientific institutions, still reeling from the events, scrambled to understand what had happened to the Resonance and the repurposed individuals who had either disappeared or returned with unexplainable alterations. Teams of scientists, philosophers, and theologians formed think tanks to study the phenomenon. While some viewed the Resonance with reverence, seeing them as humanity's next evolutionary step, others harbored suspicion and fear, worried that these individuals might possess powers or knowledge that could upset the fragile balance of global order. The United Nations established the Global Convergence Initiative, GCI, to investigate the long-term effects of the Rapture. This organization worked tirelessly to catalog anomalies, study the resonance experiences, and provide resources for the reintegration of repurposed individuals. One of the most pressing challenges was understanding the role of those who had changed in ways that defied human comprehension. Many of these people exhibited behaviors that were both unsettling and awe-inspiring. They spoke in tongues. Their eyes shimmered with a faint glow, and their voices carried an unearthly resonance. Some could influence the environment around them, causing plants to bloom, water to ripple, or objects to levitate with a mere thought. These repurposed individuals, dubbed altered, became the focal point of both fascination and fear. While many communities welcomed them, seeing their transformations as a divine blessing or a gift of evolution, others ostracized them, believing they were harbingers of further cataclysm. Several governments instituted policies to monitor the altered, fearing they might pose a threat. In some countries, these individuals were detained in secret facilities under the guise of research, sparking outrage and protests from human rights organizations. Meanwhile, a grassroots movement emerged, inspired by Elon Musk's final message and the visions shared by the resonance. This movement, known as the Cosmic Alignment Collective, CAC, sought to unify humanity under the principles Musk had outlined: compassion, harmony, and the pursuit of higher understanding. The CAC quickly grew into a global network, attracting scientists, artists, spiritual leaders, and ordinary citizens who believed that the Rapture was not the end, but the beginning of a greater cosmic journey. Under the CAC's influence, society began to shift in profound ways. Old systems of governance, rooted in conflict and competition, began to crumble. Collaborative models of leadership and decision-making gained traction, emphasizing empathy, inclusivity, and sustainability. Technology, once a tool for profit and power, was repurposed to serve humanity's collective good. Renewable energy projects flourished, healthcare became universally accessible, and education focused on fostering creativity and critical thinking rather than rote memorization. But not everyone embraced this new direction. The changes brought about by the Rapture exposed deep divisions within humanity. While some saw the event as a call to unity and progress, others clung to old ideologies, unwilling to let go of power, wealth, and control. Extremist groups rose in opposition to the CAC, accusing its leaders of promoting a dangerous utopian vision. These factions viewed the resonance and altered as threats to the natural order and sought to undermine their influence. Tensions reached a breaking point when a resonant-led research team in the Sahara Desert discovered what they believed to be a remnant of the convergence. A massive crystalline structure buried beneath the sand. The structure emitted a low-frequency vibration similar to the hum that had preceded the Rapture. Resonants who approached the crystal reported intense visions and an overwhelming sense of peace, describing it as a beacon or gateway. The discovery reignited debates about the nature of the Rapture and humanity's place in the universe. The Sahara Beacon, as it came to be known, became a pilgrimage site for millions seeking answers or simply hoping to experience its calming energy. However, its existence also attracted attention from those who saw it as a potential weapon or source of power. Several nations sent military forces to secure the site, leading to a tense standoff that threatened to escalate into conflict. The CAC intervened, negotiating a fragile truce and establishing the beacon as a neutral zone under international stewardship. As humanity wrestled with these challenges, whispers of Elon Musk's return began to circulate. Rumors spread that his spacecraft had been spotted in the outer reaches of the solar system, transmitting faint signals that defied decoding. Others claimed to have seen Musk in visions, guiding them toward hidden truths or offering cryptic advice. These rumors were dismissed by many as wishful thinking, but for the Resonance and CAC members, they were a source of hope. In the years that followed, strange phenomena continued to occur. The Earth's magnetic field exhibited unpredictable fluctuations, creating dazzling auroras that stretched across entire continents. Animals displayed increasingly complex behaviors, with some species forming interspecies alliances that baffled zoologists. Human creativity reached unprecedented heights with art, music, and literature, reflecting the profound changes brought about by the Rapture. Themes of unity, transformation, and cosmic wonder dominated the cultural landscape, inspiring billions to imagine a brighter future. Then, on the 10th anniversary of the Rapture, a message was received, a broadcast unlike anything humanity had encountered. It originated from deep space, carried on frequencies that bypassed conventional technology, and resonated directly within the minds of those who heard it. The message was simple, yet profound. You are ready. Prepare to ascend. The broadcast sent shockwaves through the world. Its origin was traced to the star system Musk's spacecraft had reportedly been heading toward, reigniting speculation about his fate. Was this message from Musk himself, or had he reached an entity far beyond human understanding? The phrase, "prepare to ascend," became a rallying cry, prompting a new wave of exploration, introspection, and collaboration. The resonance, now numbering in the millions, took the lead in interpreting the message. They believed it signaled the next phase of humanity's evolution, a cosmic invitation to join a greater community of sentient beings. The CAC organized a series of global summits, bringing together leaders, scientists, and resonants to discuss how to respond. These summits were marked by an unprecedented spirit of cooperation, as nations put aside their differences to focus on the shared goal of ascension. At the same time, the altered began to play a more prominent role in society. Their unique abilities, once feared, were now seen as vital to understanding the mysteries of the Rapture and preparing for what lay ahead. Altered individuals who could manipulate energy fields, communicate with animals, or access hidden knowledge became teachers, healers, and guides. Their insights proved invaluable in deciphering the patterns and messages left behind by the convergence. As humanity stood on the brink of this new era, a sense of anticipation filled the air. The lessons of the Rapture had reshaped the world, fostering a deeper awareness of the interconnectedness of all life. Yet questions remained. What would ascension entail? What challenges and wonders awaited beyond the stars? And most importantly, would Elon Musk, the man who had foreseen it all, return to lead humanity into the unknown? The journey was far from over, but the path was clear. Humanity was no longer bound by the limitations of fear and division. The Rapture had been a catalyst, a turning point that revealed the infinite potential within every soul. Now, united in purpose and guided by the echoes of Musk's vision, humanity prepared to take its next step into the vast, uncharted expanse of the cosmos, where the true adventure awaited. As humanity prepared for the next phase of its journey into the unknown, the anticipation of ascension hung like an electrified mist over the planet. The hum that had once permeated Earth during the Rapture now resonated faintly within individuals who had aligned with the universal frequency, as though the planet itself was singing a soft, unending song. This harmony was both a reminder of the past and a promise of the future, a sign that the convergence had not merely changed humanity, but had left it on the brink of something greater. In this delicate moment of transition, the world's attention turned skyward. A new generation of explorers, inspired by the events of the Rapture, took humanity's yearning for answers into the stars. Spaceports across the globe buzzed with activity as fleets of ships, constructed using resonant-inspired technologies, prepared for long-range missions to explore the cosmos. These ships, dubbed vessels of harmony, were not merely mechanical constructs, but integrated biological systems attuned to the frequencies of their crews. Pilots described feeling as though they were an extension of the ship itself, an organic part of a living system navigating the infinite. Among the missions was a flagship expedition named Unity-1, a vessel tasked with retracing the faint signals that had originated from the distant star system Musk's craft had been heading toward. The crew comprised resonants, altered individuals, and the best scientific minds Earth had to offer. This journey was not merely about finding Musk or understanding the message. It was about embracing the unknown and meeting whatever awaited humanity with open arms. Back on Earth, preparations for ascension were far from uniform. While many embraced the opportunity for transformation, others hesitated, fearing what they could not understand. Communities once torn apart by the events of the Rapture began to splinter again, this time along lines of belief in what ascension truly meant. Some envisioned a literal journey to the stars, while others saw it as a metaphorical evolution of consciousness. The debate, though passionate, remained largely peaceful, a testament to the lessons learned from the Rapture's global unity. Meanwhile, the resonance continued their work, meditating in groups and amplifying the vibrations of harmony that they believed would guide humanity into the next dimension. Across cities, deserts, and mountains, massive gatherings formed under the open sky, where people of all walks of life sang, chanted, and resonated together. These moments of unity became known as the Ascension Gatherings, transcendent events that left participants feeling a deep connection not only to each other, but to the cosmos itself. One such gathering, held in the shadow of the Sahara Beacon, marked a turning point. As the gathering reached its crescendo, a burst of light erupted from the beacon, shooting into the heavens like a pillar of divine energy. The residents present fell to their knees, overwhelmed by visions of infinite possibilities, worlds teeming with life, dimensions layered like sheets of music, and a figure standing at the nexus of it all, waiting. The figure was unmistakable. Elon Musk, his face serene and his presence glowing with cosmic vitality, raised a hand as though welcoming the billions watching the event unfold. Though he said nothing, his expression conveyed everything. The journey was not yet complete, but the future was boundless. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, could you leave your comments below and tell us? What are your thoughts on Elon Musk's return with a message about the Rapture? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.